When love turns into obsession, when fear becomes stronger than trust. The story of Shen Wenlang and Gao Tu breaks hearts in every chapter. Shen Wenlang wasn't just searching for someone. He was tearing the world apart, desperate to find the Omega who had vanished from his life. But while Shen was losing his mind in the chaos of longing, Gao Tu was fighting for his life. It all began during his escape. Gao Tu was only a few months pregnant when he stumbled into Mahang, the childhood friend who had secretly loved him for years. At first, it seemed like fate had played a cruel trick. Gao Tu's father was notorious for his schemes, and Gao Tu suspected he was being manipulated into another painful encounter with Shen Wenlang. But Mahang's reaction changed everything. When Gao Tu begged for help, Mahang didn't hesitate. He rushed him straight to the hospital. And there, the truth unraveled in the most shocking way. All his life, Mahang had thought Gao Tu was a beta, ordinary, untouchable, someone he admired in silence. But that night, when doctors revealed the truth, his world flipped upside down. Gao Tu wasn't a beta. He was an omega. And worse, he was pregnant. The doctors explained what should have been impossible. Years of suppressant drugs, pheromone-blocking injections, and his frail health should have made conception nearly unthinkable. But because his heat had overlapped with Shen Wenlang's rut, and because their compatibility was abnormally high, the unthinkable happened. But this miracle was slowly killing him. An omega without alpha-soothing pheromones to stabilize the pregnancy was like a candle burning out too fast. The body couldn't sustain it. And so, Gao Tu collapsed. His condition was catastrophic. His pheromone glands swelled painfully. His heartbeat flatlined over and over, and for hours, the doctors fought to drag him back from death's edge. 4 grueling hours later, against every odd, he survived. So did the fragile life growing inside him. But Gao Tu's body was far from safe. To stop his pheromones from overflowing dangerously, surgeons implanted a special blocker into the back of his neck. Still, without alpha soothing, his recovery would be short-lived. The baby's father should have been the one by his side. But Gao Tu refused that with everything in him. And so, the doctors tested Mahang's compatibility instead. When the results returned at 65% a rare, high match, Mahang made his decision without hesitation. He became Gao Tu's temporary alpha. For 14 days, he gave him his pheromones, easing the pain, steadying his heartbeat, keeping him alive through the endless nights. Watching over both Gao Tu and the unborn child, Mahang finally lived the role he had dreamed of since childhood: protector, savior, alpha. And so, the doctors tested Mahang's compatibility instead. When the results returned at 65% a rare, high match, Mahang made his decision without hesitation. He became Gao Tu's temporary alpha. For 14 days, he gave him his pheromones, easing the pain, steadying his heartbeat, keeping him alive through the endless nights. Watching over both Gao Tu and the unborn child, Mahang finally lived the role he had dreamed of since childhood: protector, savior, alpha. When Gao Tu was finally discharged, his sister Gao Qing brought him terrifying news. "Wenlang is still looking for you." The words made Gao Tu's heart freeze, because all he could remember were Shen Wenlang's merciless words. "If my Omega gets pregnant, I will get rid of the baby." That one line had branded itself into Gao Tu's soul. To him, there was no other explanation. If Shen ever found him, the child would be ripped away, gone before it had a chance to live. And so he chose to disappear again. This time, Mahang helped him vanish. But Shen Wenlang wasn't a man to give up. He tracked Gao Tu to his old apartment, arriving just moments after Gao Tu slipped away. Inside, the faint trace of his Omega scent still lingered, delicate yet undeniable. That single breath of fragrance was enough to send Wenlang spiraling deeper into obsession. He doubled his efforts. Across 3 cities, he bought ad space billboards, posters, TV slots, plastering Gao Tu's face everywhere. Tens of thousands of dollars spent, all for a missing Omega. The public buzzed with gossip. Isn't this too much for just an old classmate? Or was he something more? But Wenlang didn't care about rumors. He only cared about finding him. Meanwhile, Gao Tu trembled with fear. He couldn't forget how powerless he had felt under Shen's pheromones, how impossible it was to resist the dominance of an alpha like him. Every instinct screamed that if Shen caught him, both he and his baby would be destroyed. So he kept running, and Shen kept chasing. Shen Wenlang's rut only made things worse. His body craved his mate so violently that he turned to scraps of the past for comfort. He reread every WeChat message they had exchanged. He even dug out a short video Gao Tu had once sent just him folding clothes in a dressing room, asking softly, "Does this one look good, Mr. Shen?" Shen replayed that ordinary clip hundreds of times, watching it until his chest ached from the weight of longing. His desperation finally drove him to reach out to the last person he wanted to depend on, Gao Tu's father. He reread every WeChat message they had exchanged. He even dug out a short video Gao Tu had once sent just him folding clothes in a dressing room, asking softly, "Does this one look good, Mr. Shen?" Shen replayed that ordinary clip hundreds of times, watching it until his chest ached from the weight of longing. His desperation finally drove him to reach out to the last person he wanted to depend on, Gao Tu's father. "Have you heard from him?" he asked. The man chuckled, his words slimy and false. "No. But thank you, Mr. Shen, for saving my life and for the money you gave me. If I hear anything about Gao Tu, I'll tell you immediately. Trust me, if I find him, he'll be yours." Wenlang's gut twisted. He knew this man was untrustworthy, but when love turns into desperation, even poison starts to look like medicine. And so he kept searching. He pulled every connection, even trying to hack into Gao Tu's hospital records. They were gone, erased without a trace. Still, he uncovered fragments of truth. Gao Tu had been on the brink of death. Somehow he had survived. But what crushed Wenlang most was what the doctors told him. "He has an alpha now," one said. "Very good looking, very attentive. Their compatibility is strong, and his pheromones are stabilizing Gao Tu's condition." "Mr. Shen, don't worry. Whether Gao Tu keeps the child or not, with this alpha beside him, his life isn't in danger anymore." The words haunted him. Whether he keeps the child or not, as long as that alpha is there, it wasn't just Gao Tu's child. It was his child too. Why should another alpha hold his omega, soothe his mate, protect his baby? The jealousy and despair nearly drove him mad. His mind turned toward Mahang. Could he be the alpha by Gao Tu's side? He investigated further, combing through travel records, convinced they had fled abroad. But no exit records existed. Mahang's passport had expired and never been renewed. They were still in the country, somewhere. But what Shen Wenlang didn't know was that the truth was even darker. It wasn't Mahang who arranged their escape. It was Gao Tu's own Omega father who smuggled them out of Shen's reach. And so, the tragedy deepened. On one side, Shen Wenlang, driven to madness by love, longing, and regret. An alpha who would set the world on fire just to see his Omega again. On the other side, Gao Tu, fragile and terrified, clinging to his unborn child and running as far as he could from the man he thought would destroy them both. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the next heartbreaking chapter of ABO Desire. Thanks for watching.